Hi there, welcome back to my channel. My name is TRACY-LEE. Today, as you can see, I'm seated with Joshua Cox, the founder of The Cleaning Fix, Fix It Forward, and Racial Literacy. So we're going to chat a bit about single mothers in need and just giving you guys a bit more information about his initiatives. But as for now, just give me a bit of an idea of who is Joshua Cox?
Yeah, so I'm actually born in the UK, so
oh wow!
I very much consider myself a South African. I lived here since I was 2 years old.
Okay, yeah, so you basically are a South African.
Yeah, grew up in Cape Town, went to school here, studied at Stellenbosch, and have really been involved in the non-profit world for the last 16 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, doing community development work. I worked as an activist for traditional fishing communities. I worked in conservation, a range of different areas, and then founded a non-profit organization called Fix Forward in 2012 and started full-time in 2014. So I'm just really passionate about
helping.
About creating impacts, about making a difference in the world.
Okay, so just give us a bit of a background behind what Cleaning Fix is all about. Because that is the initiative where you go in and you really just specifically help single mothers, right?
Correct, yeah. So the Cleaning Fix was born out of a campaign that we ran at Fix Forward during lockdown. I think a lot of NGOs were thinking about ways that they could get involved in meeting the needs of people who were really suffering under lockdown conditions economically and so on. And so we launched a campaign called Mothers in Need, where we were focusing on raising support, financial support for refugee mothers with young children. And so we raised about 750,000 Rand.
Wow, that is a lot of money.
Yeah, to support just over 300 moms and their families for 6 months with a grocery voucher of 400 Rand a month for them to buy nappies, airtime, food, whatever they needed. And we came to the end of that and we were thinking, okay, well, what...
It worked, so isn't there something else that we can do that's more permanent?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Something that's more sustainable, and our approach is always to see where we can give people opportunities rather than handouts.
Yes. And that's where the Cleaning Fix came about. So mothers come and they enroll. What is that whole process that they go through?
Yeah, so there's obviously a vetting process that we have with the cleaners, where we speak to past clients where they've worked. We do an interview with the cleaner. We do criminal background checks, and that's obviously protecting the brand and reputation of the Cleaning Fix, because the opportunities that the mothers access depends on the reputation of the Cleaning Fix brand. So we have quite a thorough vetting process.
Okay. So if you have a criminal record, you can't apply.
So if you have a criminal record, then we will look at what the nature of that crime is, and then we make a decision.
Okay, so you try and want to make sure that you can help everyone.
Correct, yeah. So it doesn't automatically exclude people if they have a criminal record, because sometimes people have records for
and
things
sometimes
that
there's a very good reason.
Absolutely.
So tell me, what have you seen during the time as working with the Cleaning Fix? Something that you really felt inspired about? What can you tell me? What really inspired you?
Yeah, I think just seeing the gratitude of these ladies who carry a tremendous burden often they are the main breadwinners in their family, with unemployed husbands, or they don't have partners, they're raising children on their own. And I think just seeing their commitment and their gratitude towards us for the opportunity that we're able to provide, I think is hugely inspiring.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And so I mean, we had an example of one lady who lives out in Strand. Her name is Mary, and she had just joined the platform, and within a couple of months we had a company who contacted us. They were looking for someone 5 days a week, and she was able to get that opportunity, and she was willing to move closer to uproot her whole family and bring them closer. So I think, just seeing how hungry people,
exactly.
Exactly.
That's perfect.
knowing the difference that it's going to make for her and for her kids.
Yes. So is it only available, the cleaning fix, is it only available in Cape Town, the Cape Town area, or is it throughout South Africa?
At the moment it's only in the Cape Town area.
Is it? Are you thinking of branching out?
Absolutely, yeah. We've already had requests from people to move up into Gauteng.
Oh wow!
And so on. So,
oh,
yeah,
that's good. Wow.
Interest, yeah. So we're excited for that's definitely in the future.
Okay. Asking you, the author of Racial Literacy as well. What is that all about?
Yeah, so I've always been passionate about racial justice and really around equipping myself with the knowledge and understanding to be able to engage on issues related to race and racism. And so I've spent the last sort of 10 years or so trying to educate myself on that. And yeah, I've just been really interested in a lot of the debate around these issues. And then when the whole George Floyd murder happened in the States,
oh wow, that was heartbreaking news.
It was heavy, and I think it really brought the issue to the fore, and a lot of people were grappling with it. And actually a friend of mine who's a pastor in a church, who leads a church out in Stellenbosch, contacted me and said, look Josh, we want to say something as a church. This is a white guy leading the church. We want to make a statement about this, you know, but I'm not sure what to say. I'm worried I'm going to say the wrong thing. I'm going to unintentionally hurt people, or I'm going to upset people. Can you give me some pointers? Correct. And I think there are a lot of people, of course there are people that are overtly racist, and that's
but there also are people that want to help and they want to make a positive change, because it does happen, and it happens on a daily. Eldest son, he's only 3 now, but he's a bit darker, and you as a parent, you're not quite sure, like, do I prepare him in ways where I tell him about this, or do I not? So it's something that I also have to obviously prepare myself for eventually when it comes to that. But yeah, it definitely is something that is something that is there.
Absolutely, and I think it remains one of the great challenges that we face in this country. It's one of the big social challenges. Of course, there's economic inequality, and those things must be addressed. And so I set up in 2020 the Racial Literacy Project, which is a simple website that has common questions related to race and racism. And the idea is to, in a non-threatening, accessible way, make these resources available to white people, so that without them having to read 10 books and watch 1,000 videos, they can educate themselves and they can get the language and the concepts, so that they can
not make somebody else feel a bit uncomfortable where they don't really necessarily have to. So that is what racial literacy is all about.
Absolutely.
Okay, interesting. Where does your out of the box views come from? So I just followed Joshua Cox recently on LinkedIn, and the views on his posts and all of that, it's so like out of the box, but it's still very practical and it's very insightful, and you can learn so much from them. So I just want to know, where does that come from? Like, very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, first of all. I think a lot of that I would attribute to my schooling. I went to Waldorf School here in Cape Town, and there's a strong emphasis on innovative thinking, on creativity, on challenging and asking questions, and not just accepting things as they are presented to you. And so I guess out of that have developed an interest and a passion in challenging a lot of the conventional wisdom that gets put out there, that people just share again and again, and they're not necessarily thinking about how does this actually work kind of practically in my life. And I think that, together with an obsession with
self-improvement.
Yeah, self-improvement, but in very practical ways.
Yes.
So how do we move beyond inspiration to actually being able to make real, tangible changes?
And I'm just going to make an example of this quickly. Like, the 5 a.m. club is not for everybody. For example, for me, I'm not somebody that can wake up that early. And also my productivity hours is around about, say, like from 10 in the morning to about 12, and then again in the evening. So things like that, if you are aware of what works for you, it's easy for you to just take an insight like that and make it very practical in your life.
And I think that's the thing is we are often presented with these pictures of how we should be living, how we should do things, and if we don't live up to those, if those don't work for us, and we stop doing them, then we beat ourselves up for it, and we think, oh, I'm never going to be successful because I'm not doing, you know, what everyone says successful people do. And I think it's good to challenge that, and it's good to experiment and figure out what works for you.
Yes.
And you don't need to follow the recipe that everyone else is putting forward.
Exactly, so true. We're going to close this interview off. The last question is, where can everyone find you on social media? Are you on Instagram? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Yeah.
I'm mostly active on LinkedIn.
Okay.
I find it to be a great platform to dive into a lot of the issues related to leadership, mental health, work, and so on. So yeah, definitely LinkedIn.
So you're not on Instagram?
I'm not on Instagram.
Why are you not on Instagram?
I don't have a good excuse for that.
Oh, okay. It's not your idea of what you want to share.
Yeah, I'm trying to make social media work for me rather than be on too many platforms.
Oh, I get that. That's a good thing. I'm also a bit like in a bit of two minds now with Instagram. I've been on it for like the longest time, but because I'm shifting in a lot of areas in my life, I'm starting to look at like what platforms really work for me. So I'm in a bit of two minds with Instagram. YouTube is definitely a platform I want to really delve into deeply and properly, and then LinkedIn as well. And then Twitter, why are you not on Twitter?
I've got a Twitter profile, but it's just not very active. No.
Okay.
No, it's just too much to focus on.
Oh yeah, there's too much going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what is your LinkedIn name? Is it Joshua Cox, or is there any other?
Yeah, Joshua Cox.
And then I noticed you can also find Clean Fix, Racial Literacy, and Fix It Forward also on LinkedIn. So you can find the three companies that he's founded also on LinkedIn. It's the Clean Fix, Fix It Forward, and Racial Literacy. So yeah, so that is it from Joshua Cox. I'll leave all these details either in the description below or on the screen. And yeah, it was nice sitting with you and just delving into what you're all about and the companies that you founded. Thank you so much for joining and just sharing your views with us.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Until next time, bye.